Hi, this is the lesson number 29 in the series of British literature. So, in the previous lesson, we discussed the political conditions during the Age of Revival, that was around the 15th century and half of the 16th century. So now, during that period, we have several writers. So prominently, this period belongs to the monarchy of the kings Henry the Seventh and Henry the Eighth. So primarily, these writers belong to the regime of these kings. So the first writer in this period we are discussing now, that is Erasmus. Erasmus. His lifespan goes from 1466 to 1536. So he was born in 1466 and died 1536. And he was also known as the Erasmus of Rotterdam. Erasmus of Rotterdam. By profession, he was a Catholic priest. He was also a socialist and a teacher. He was given the title, the Prince of the Humanist. The Prince of the Humanist. And one more title goes to him, that is the Crowning Glory of the Christian Humanist. The Crowning Glory of the Christian Humanist. As far as the language is concerned, he wrote in the Latin language, and he also developed the editions, the Latin and Greek language editions of the New Testaments in Bible. When we talk about the Holy Book Bible, there are Old Testaments and New Testaments. So two sections. So he wrote New Testaments in Latin and Greek language. Now, being a Catholic priest, he was the part of the Protestant movement. So he was following the traditions of the Catholicism, but he was going with the Protestant movement. Though he had a view to reform the church, but unlike Martin Luther, he favored the middle way. Because we have seen that Martin Luther in the previous lesson or in one lesson before, that Martin Luther was straightaway against the Catholic practices. He was criticizing the corruption, and he was saying that one should read the Bible himself and try to interpret the things according to his wisdom. Unlike Martin Luther, he was not following what Martin Luther was saying. He was rather saying that one should adopt a middle way. One should not, or one must not, criticize the Catholicism completely as it was done by Martin Luther. He said that we should respect the traditional church and Christian values. So he was giving respect to the Christian church and traditional church, and the Christian values. Traditional means which is followed through the ages, through the centuries. And he was also looking to reform the church by eliminating the corruption only. So he was saying that in Catholicism, wherever you find the corruption, one should try to remove that corruption instead of just completely, outrightly rejecting the Catholicism. One should try to reform wherever the things are not going well, or maybe things are going down. One should correct those things rather than rejecting the Catholicism. So by this we can understand that he was in favor of Reformation, but he was also saying that it should not be the way as Martin Luther is thinking. And one more thing he did, he kept himself away from these reformers like Martin Luther, John Calvin, and also one of the king. And who was that king? That is Henry the Eighth. So he kept himself away. You know, Henry the Eighth, he was against the Catholicism. Why? Because he established his own church, the Anglican Church. I told you in the previous lesson. So he was somewhere keeping himself to the Catholicism and was not going, though by heart he was thinking, or he was admitting that there is a corruption, and he was willing to remove that. And he also then, one more point, he did not followed Henry the Eighth. So it means that he was still recognizing the Pope of the Church of Rome as the main authority in the Catholicism or in the church. So he was still giving full respect to the Pope, where Henry the Eighth said that by the act of supremacy, the king will be the head of the church. The English king will be the head of the all English church across the England. And about his work now, sorry, there is a work we have, Praise of Folly. Praise of Folly. So earlier we just discussed about his philosophy and the way what he chose to follow in his life, and now we have the work Praise of Folly. So it is written in Latin. Folly means mistake. So praising the mistakes is something like in the form of a satire, you can take it. It is written in Latin, and when he wrote, at that time he was staying with the at the house of Sir Thomas More. So who is Thomas More? In the next lesson we shall discuss about this great writer Thomas More. So being at the house of Sir Thomas More, he wrote this work, and he starts, Folly praises herself. Means he, in this work, he starts with this line or this phrase that Folly praises herself. Folly means the mistakes or the you can say the negative part of someone, like foolishness or whatever, that praises herself. Folly also praises self-defection and madness. So quite simple is that. He also satires on the superstitious nature of the church doctrine, and also the corruption prevailing in the church. As I already told you in the first segment of this lesson, that he was against the corruption of the church, and he is criticizing in this work. So folly means mistakes or the foolish things, corrupt things, bad things, whatever you can take, and all those things he says that one should criticize. And this essay ends with a line. So what is that ending line? No man is wise at all the time. No man is wise at all the time. Sorry, earlier I said a bit wrong. No man is wise at all the time, or is without his blind sight. Or is without his blind sight. So we have two sentences in this segment, and I just repeat them separately. No man is wise at all the time. So pretty simple. Or one more, that is, no man is without his blind sight. No man is without his blind sight. So means every human being tends to have a blind side, means wherever his faith goes, or wherever he goes for the corruption or whatever he saw in the Catholicism. According to that, he had said this. So one cannot be completely wise throughout the life, and one should have, or one supposed to have a blind side, means where he is going corrupt or not going with the proper or good way. So means human life is the combination of both follies and virtues. vices. It is the combination of all these things. So that's it about Erasmus. So important point is only his famous work, that is Praise of Folly, and he wrote in Latin, and he was a Protestant by belief, but he was, by his practice and actions, he was a Catholic priest, and he was looking to improve or reform the church, but by his own way. So that's it for this lesson. Thanks for watching this lesson. Have a nice day.